Wow, guys, when I tell you that I was more disappointed by the Saints Row release than I expected to be, that is a hard bar to cross, man. This is actually crazy. So, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about Saints Row again. Now, I made a video yesterday, right, where I kind of went over some of the early footage that was coming out of the new Saints Row release, and I gave it a pretty hard time, you know what I mean? I was pretty disrespectful. I crapped on the game. Let's just keep it what it is here. So when I made that video, I was fully expecting, that's it, right? But no, that was not it. In fact, the game released today, and we have more footage that has come out and more instances that prove that this game is a complete dumpster fire, and man, it's somehow worse than I expected. Now keep in mind, my expectations were already extremely low. I mean, after we saw the beginning footage rolling out the day or so before the game came out, I was pretty much off the hype train at that point, right? But at the end of the day, I wanted to give it a chance because, there's day one patches, there's all kinds of different things in the gaming industry now to try to get a game back up to speed after it's released, and well, let's just say they didn't necessarily work this time around because the new Saints Row is awful. And you're about to see why. So many of the things we're about to take a look at here are just like glitches, but they're glitches that shouldn't be in the game. Like most of the things we're going to take a look at in this video, I really feel like could have been fixed with simple play testing. Like if you just try to play the game before you release it, maybe you'd run into these issues. Like if you tried in any way, shape, or form to like actually play the game and see its limitations and whatnot. But this game is pathetic for what it is, and it's disappointing to say the least. This is a $60 video game that you're about to see here, and well, just go ahead and take a look at this. So the first clip we're going to take a look at here is the rain effects. And as you can see by this clip, yeah, it's terrible. This is actually the rain effects inside of the new Saints Row game. You can't see anything, you can't move correctly. I can only imagine trying to do any sort of mission while this kind of torrential downpour is going down. I didn't know the new Saints Row game was a Hurricane Katrina simulator, but apparently the folks working on this game decided that at any time if it rains in the video game, you basically get a blinding spell cast on you. I don't know, once again, how this happens because, like I just said, this is stuff that can be fixed in playtesting. You can just, boot the game up and turn the rain on, and you see this, it should kind of prompt you to fix it or like change it, but apparently not. So yeah, that's the weather effects in this game. So I just want to use that clip to point out it isn't just like the dialogue or glitches in the gameplay. This game is fundamentally trash through every part of it, from what I've seen. Now keep in mind, I haven't even been able to play the game for myself, and I actually have a pretty legitimate defense. So my friend and I tried to buy this game through the Epic Games Store on PC recently, and we were literally prevented from purchasing the game. Like when we went to buy it, it just didn't buy the game. I don't know if that was a sign of us to not play it or something, but yeah, I can't even play the game, let alone I can't buy the game. So, but hey, that's not the only problem I want to talk about here, you know what I mean? We actually have 5 different clips to take a look at here. The next one I want to show you guys is a little bit of an in-game kind of situation that unfolds, a little bit of the glitches that appear during the story of the game. Yeah, this guy just turned into Super Stretch and just like started bending around magically. Now you might be like, oh, Optimus, this isn't that big of a deal, man. It's just a graphical glitch. That can be easily fixed, right? Yeah, it may not be the end of the world. Sure, it didn't crash your game or ruin your progress or anything, but this is a $60 AAA title. And that does mean something. Whether or not people want to admit that means something, that means something. So the reason that means something is because if I'm shelling out $60 to buy your game, right, I should expect premium quality. I should expect for the game to not have random bugs, glitches, and issues that plague every single part of the gameplay. Especially in cutscenes of all things, right? Like, you would think that's the most secure part of the game that you can figure out, but when it comes to the new Saints Row and the developers, they couldn't even figure that part out. The part of the game you would think might even be the most polished, considering that's where a lot of the story and everything comes from in the game. Not even it is complete. Not even it is perfect. And it doesn't have to be perfect, It doesn't have to be completely void of glitches or anything, but this game is so anti-void of glitches is that it's full of them. I mean, they're everywhere. Take a look at this. So you might be a little confused. Well, what's the big deal with this, Optimus? So this is actually the introduction mission to the game. The first, I guess, thing you see, basically. This is your first impression. Well, if you get off of the bike during the first mission, you can break the AI so badly that they stop moving, they stop shooting, they don't say or do anything, they simply sit in place and stare at you. So, some way along this, they were coding the game, and instead of programming the AI to, attack you regardless, like most games would, like it kind of should happen, they just programmed it to, trace along a path following your bike, and that was kind of it. I guess they didn't program the AI to react. So basically, if you don't play the game in the most linear fashion possible, and you try to do anything to enhance your gameplay or do anything cool, the AI isn't even prepared for that. So it just freezes in place and doesn't know how to react. I mean, here's another clip of the AI completely breaking in this game. Keep in mind, it's basically like a 1v1 between the player and this AI, and the artificial intelligence still can't even figure out how to respond. The player's not moving, the player's not doing, some wacky, crazy skill move or something that, the AI can't predict or react to. All the AI has to do simply is walk forward and attack, and it can't even do that right. I unironically think that any of you watching this video could probably make a better video game with free-to-find Unity assets in the Unity engine. I'm pretty confident in that. This is just fundamentally broken game design. I mean, it's indefensible. I know that there's people on Twitter and people in the Saints Row community that are trying to defend this game, right? They're trying to say that perhaps we're being too nitpicky, or perhaps we're complaining too much about issues that'll eventually be ironed out. If I'm paying $60 for a video game on release, it should be pretty good. You know what I mean? It shouldn't have these game-breaking issues or these AI problems or random visual glitches like this. The game is not polished at all. There's not a single droplet of polish on this game. I don't even know how this genuinely made it to release. In the state that it's in, how did this game make it to release? I don't know, but go ahead and take a look at this glitch as well. Nothing says AAA $60 video game that just released like a floating head getting the shit slapped out of it because its body didn't load in. This is how prevalent problems in this game are. You know what I mean? Keep in mind, once again, this was supposed to be the rebranding almost of the Saints Row franchise. For original Saints Row fans like myself who've been playing this game for over a decade now at least, this was supposed to be the love letter to the community that kind of revitalized the Saints Row fandom in a way, right? But from what I'm seeing, from what I've observed throughout the release of this game, more or less what this actually is the death of the Saints Row franchise. I cannot imagine the gaming community will ever trust the developers behind Saints Row after this monstrosity again. Saints Row 4 didn't necessarily go over well. A lot of people even disliked 3. Personally, I thought it was pretty decent, but this is just an abomination. Can we really call it anything else? This game is a fucking abomination. In all reality, what we're looking at here might genuinely be the worst game, major at least, to release in 2022. This might be the Cyberpunk of this year. This might be the Battlefield 2042 of this year, you know what I mean? And sure, they can do all the work they want to after this game has been released to try to fix it, after the fact. But for people like me, that doesn't really work often. Now, it worked with games like No Man's Sky because they truly did the job and they made it a game worth playing. But I don't pay $60 for early access to your game while you spend the next 7 months fixing it, especially in a game like this. That is a ludicrous idea that someone should have to follow that, you know what I mean? So, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below, and until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, just shitting on Saints Row, and signing out.